You know, despite what some people may say, video games are art. That's a fact. And just like all sorts of other types of art, video games have the incredible ability to elicit an emotional response. The absolute rush of joy you get when you finally beat a boss you'd been stuck on for 3 days. The terror of hearing something creep up behind you, only to turn around and see absolutely nothing. The sadness when you lose a party member that you just spent 20 hours leveling. But do you want to know what really amplifies what a game can do? Music. I'm sure this comes as absolutely no surprise to you, but the right piece of music at the right moment can amplify the emotional impact of a scene exponentially. Hi, I'm Secret Agent Jacob, and for today's Top 10, I wanted to look at some of the songs that do really give an emotional boost, but there's just so many. As such, I decided to focus on one type of emotional response, a blended one, if you will. I wanted songs that make you feel equal parts calm and anxious. Songs that give you hope and take it away all at the same time. Songs that are beautiful, yet haunting. The kind of songs that give you equal parts comfort and ache. The ones that linger, like a breath on a mirror or a half-remembered dream. So let's do it. As usual, a couple of rules to keep it interesting. One song per game. Variety is the spice of life or something. 2, I guess this is more of a disclaimer than a rule, but whatever. I'm ranking them based not only on the song itself, but its impact and placement within the game that it's from. As such, these might not be in the order of my favorites, but how well they elicit the response they're aiming for. At least in my humble opinion, anyway. So dim your lights, close your eyes, and let's begin our journey through 10 melodies that prove that sadness and beauty can coexist.
But Jacob, if they close their eyes, how are they going to be able to watch the video?
Shut up! It sounded cool when I wrote it! Leave me alone! I didn't grow up with Silent Hill. In fact, I only played the original Silent Hill for the first time maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And you know what? I thought the game was pretty fantastic. I thought it aged really well, especially the music and sound design. Silent Hill is pretty famous for its industrial, metallic sounds, and as a horror game, definitely has some proper creepy music. But nothing that I would really consider beautiful, with one glorious exception: Lisa's theme. As will be common in this list, the context makes the experience. You play through Silent Hill as Harry Mason, and Lisa's theme is called such because it plays when Harry's, you guessed it, with Lisa, for the final time. See, Lisa is a nurse at the main hospital in Silent Hill, and there's a lot of fun plot stuff there, but for our purposes here, she's important for a big reason. She's normal. Finally, a friendly human face to ground you back to reality in the cityscape of terror and monsters. She shows up several times, always as a friendly presence to make you feel at ease. But then, near the end of the game, you see her again, where she herself has a revelation. The real reason why she escaped the monsters. Because she is one. This whole time, she had just convinced herself she wasn't one of the horrific creations of Silent Hill. And she believed it. Until now. As both you and Harry Mason learn the truth, Lisa falls apart, physically and emotionally, and Harry has to shut her in. After all, she is a monster, but you can't help but hurt, because she was your friend. And that's what this song does. That's the power of music. Hearing this while seeing Harry slump to the floor, even for PlayStation 1 graphics, this was impactful. Certainly one of the most memorable parts of the game for me. You don't go into a horror game expecting to feel the feels, and yet Silent Hill does just that. Akira Yamaoka absolutely nailed this theme, and I promise you, we'll hear him again on this list. For now though, let's move on to our next song with... You'd think a game about high schoolers shooting themselves in the head with magic pistols would go all in on loud guitars and edgy techno. Instead, every time you step into the Velvet Room, you're greeted by a slow, dreamlike piano embrace. Equal parts lullaby and funeral dirge. The aria of the soul. In Persona 3, you spend your nights grinding through Tartarus, moonlit hallways, monsters that look like they crawled out of Picasso's nightmares, and tables. Evil, evil tables. Then you open a tiny bright door and boom! You're in a midnight blue lounge that seems to float outside of reality. Igor, long-nosed and grinning, tells you to fuse personas, while Elizabeth hums along like everything's perfectly normal. And that's where this theme sneaks up on you. It's comforting. I mean, Igor is definitely on your side, but it's also unsettling, because every visit reminds you that you're not in the normal world anymore. You're in limbo, negotiating with shadows. The thing about this song is that it's not just in Persona 3, it's in Persona 4 and 5 as well, and it fits just as excellently there. But I do feel like it fits Persona 3 the best. And Persona 3 is an incredibly emotional game, too. I mean, excellent story, excellent writing, and a blast to play, too. And the remake of Persona 3 is one of the greatest remakes of all time. There's an idea for another top 10. Sorry, got a little distracted. Go play Persona 3, it's great. Anyway, about 30 hours in, I'd realized I'd started lingering in the Velvet Room on purpose, just letting the loop play while I reorganized my personas. Not because I needed the menu time, but because the track had become this weird, emotional reset. Like a moment of calm that still whispered, hey, remember, death is literally hanging over your school and your world. That duality, that comfort plus existential dread, is why the aria of the soul lands at number 9. It's proof that a piece doesn't need bombast to be memorable. Sometimes all it takes is a beautiful piano, wordless vocals, and the nagging feeling that the elevator doors might never open again. Look, it's no secret around here that Final Fantasy X is one of my favorite games of all time. I have a lot of history with this game, and we'll get into that one of these days. But for now, I want to play for you one of the most beautiful solo piano pieces I've ever heard in my life. To really explain why this song is so impactful in this game would take a long time, but I'm going to try to condense it down the best I can. The very moment you hit new game, it starts. You have no clues, no context, nothing. Just this beautiful piano piece. Do you know what that does? That gets you thinking. What's going on here? Why does this song feel so melancholic and haunting? Who are these people? How do they know each other? What's with that shoulder touch? What's the story of their relationship? What's everyone's story? And then it happens.
Listen to my story. This may be our last chance.
This would hook anyone. It's perfect. Last chance for what? What is going on here? And then, of course, less than 5 minutes later. Anyway, turns out that entire hauntingly beautiful intro was a flash forward. So now you get to experience his story from the beginning all the way to getting back to that first scene. And that's the absolute genius of this scene and this song. As you play through the game, one by one, you meet each of these characters. You get to learn about them all, understand who they are, their motivations, and their relations with each other. Tidus, Yuna, Auron, Waka, Lulu, Riku, and Kamari. Your bonds with each and every one of them deepens and expands. You walk across the world with them on Yuna's pilgrimage, and you learn the truth. Yuna's pilgrimage will kill her. After 25 hours of incredible game, it happens. You finally make it back to that scene. But now, you know. You know exactly what each and every person here is thinking. You can feel it. You know what that shoulder touch means. You feel Tidus' pain as he struggles to find a way to save the woman he loves. All the while, hearing that incredible piece of music once again. And that's the genius. The scene is exactly the same as the first time. It hasn't changed. You have. Your personal journey with these characters changed you and how you view this scene. And it's haunting. You now know what's coming. But what can you do? And that's what the song To Xanarkand does. What can you do? There's a flicker of hope in the sadness. That's why it's haunting. Maybe you can think of a way to save her. But will you do it in time? Final Fantasy X is one of the greatest love stories ever written, and I will cherish it for the rest of my life. You know what's wild about Halo? A franchise famous for 7-foot-tall super soldiers, plasma grenades, and teabagging sure does have some incredible music. And you're all familiar, I'm sure, with the main Halo theme, you know. But I never really thought of that track as haunting. So I started thinking, is there one from the Halo franchise that has that effect, that hopeful yet haunting sound? And you know what? There sure is. And so I really sat down and thought about what grabbed my emotions. It took me all of about 5 seconds to decide on Unforgotten. Now, this song was technically in Halo 2, but really only parts of it. Its full glory was used as the main menu theme in Halo 3, and was also used to make Halo 3's song Never Forget. But I had to pick this one for a really big personal reason. Before I get to that, just so we're clear, Halo 3 is a phenomenal game, truly. It was the first game I went to a midnight release for. Hell, it was the reason I bought an Xbox 360 at all. To say that the original Halo trilogy means a lot to me is the understatement of the year. I loved the campaign of this game, and Unforgotten really gives you that feeling of sacrifice. Heroes fall, but the fight mattered. This song reminds you that there's hope out there, but it's also a eulogy for those that didn't make it home. Halo 3 is incredible, but you know what? That's really not why this song is here. It's here for a much deeper reason. You see, growing up with Halo meant playing the multiplayer, and with Halo 3, for me, that meant playing online with all kinds of people. Not just regular matchmaking, but the custom games and custom maps, speedways, obstacle courses, floating fortresses in the sky, and meeting all kinds of new people from around the world. You didn't know them by their real names, you knew them by their gamer tags. And every day after school, it was time for either Modern Warfare 2 or Halo 3. And when all my friends were online, it was the best feeling. We had so much fun, so many of us, and meeting their friends and their friends, it was all just one big party every day. But then time happened. Time drifted us apart. We moved on to other games, other consoles, other lives. It's been over 15 years since I've heard from any of them. But whenever I boot up Halo 3 and I see this main menu, and I hear this theme, I feel it. Deep in my soul. I'm reminded of how much fun I had with complete strangers, but also how fickle life is. How you can look back at those fun times and know that they're gone. Forever. I'll never get to experience that ever again. But I'm glad that I did. And that makes it so very bittersweet. In fact, if I could define bittersweet as a feeling, it'd be the feeling this song gives me. It's beautiful, but a haunting reminder to not take for granted all the friends and experiences you have right now. The swells of hope remind you to remember the past, but not to forget the present. And that's why this song is so powerful. It transcends the game. I know this particular choice was a little weird, but once I had these feelings with this song, I had to write them down. So I hope you enjoyed that little blast from the past. For now, though, I think I've talked enough about Halo. So let's move right along to... So here's the thing about Zelda games, right? They're usually heroic. Grand adventure, saving the princess, swinging swords and shit. You know, typical Saturday morning cartoon, happy ending stuff. But Twilight Princess does something unique. Right when you least expect it, the game slaps you right across the face, strips away all of your confidence, and suddenly, everything feels hopeless. And it all happens because of this song. Midna's lament kicks in when Midna, your snarky companion, is badly injured. Big bad evil guy Zant shows up out of nowhere and wrecks you both, leaving you injured and stuck in your wolf form, and Midna knocking on death's door. She's in trouble. This isn't something she can just shake off. She's dying. Fast. You need to get her to Zelda. Now. All the stakes are on the line. She will die if you do not get her to Zelda right now. And instead of epic orchestral swells and adrenaline-pumping beats, you're left with a gentle, melancholic piano piece. No flashy heroics, no triumphant brass, just you, the rain, and the fear that you might not make it to Zelda in time. It's haunting because it's so out of character for a Zelda game. You spend the whole game up to this point feeling powerful, confident, heroic, and then boom! You're vulnerable. You're not the chosen hero right now. You're just a wounded pup, desperately trying to save your friend. The genius of the track is in its simplicity. Soft piano notes echoing like distant rain, reminding you just how fragile hope really is. The melody loops gently again and again, quietly reinforcing the urgency. Well, except when you get near an enemy, then for some stupid reason, the admittedly terrible combat music overrides it. But anyway, it's beautiful, it's haunting, and it perfectly captures that bittersweet feeling Zelda rarely explores. Midna's Lament reminds us that sometimes heroism isn't about strength. Sometimes it's about the quiet determination to protect what matters, even when the odds seem impossible. It's emotional. It's beautiful. And you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, I was a lot younger when I played this for the first time. I was, 13 when this game came out? Maybe I'm reading too much into this one. I actually want to hear your opinion on this one. Am I reading too deep, or do you agree with me? I'll tell you one I think we can all agree on, though, and that's... You know what's funny about Resident Evil? It's a horror series, right? Lots of blood, lots of guts, lots of zombies, lots of screaming. And yet, ask anyone who's ever played the original Resident Evil 2 what the most memorable part of the game is. I bet half of them say the exact same thing. Mr. X. But the other half will all say, the save room. You spend most of the game moving from hallway to hallway, with a fixed camera angle making it nearly impossible to see what's coming until it's right in your face, which admittedly is pretty great design. Every time that camera angle swaps to the next hallway, there's a tiny moment where you clinch. You pray you aren't about to run into a zombie, or a licker, or even Mr. X. It's surprisingly tense. You're constantly low on ammo, low on health, and high on anxiety. But then you see it, the door to the save room. You push it open and then you're safe. The music fades in, soft and gentle, almost like the game is telling you, hey, relax. You did it. You're safe. For now. Here's the beauty of this track. It's warm, it's calming, and strangely nostalgic. A gentle bass line, a soft synthesizer, no drums, no panic, no immediate threat. But underneath that comforting melody is something else. A quiet sadness, a haunting melody, because deep down, you know this safety can't last forever. Soon enough, you'll have to walk right back out that door into the nightmare again. It's inevitable. You'll have to give up this feeling of safety and welcome back the anxiety. And that's why the save room theme sticks with you. It's beautiful, comforting, and yet haunting and bittersweet. It's a musical reminder of what you're fighting for, just a tiny piece of safety in a world filled with danger. It gives you just enough strength to reload, take a breath, and step back out. You know what's waiting. Mr. X could be just outside, or maybe another hallway full of lickers. This is your chance to restock and rearm. But you know what that means. Those supplies you take out, you're gonna have to use them. The terror resumes. This was just a moment, a breath. You have to go back out there. There's no choice. That's what this song does. Man, this list has been so fun to make. Like, really thinking about how all these different songs pull at your emotions and expectations so effortlessly. But now it's time to move from one horror game to another. We're taking another trip to Silent Hill. But this time, it's... Hey, we're back in Silent Hill! I mean, honestly, how could we not be? Akira Yamaoka is a master at writing beautiful, melancholic music. And if I had to pick one song of his that really encapsulates that perfectly haunting feeling, it's got to be Promise from Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is, at its core, an emotionally heavy game. This isn't just your standard survival horror. It's a deeply personal story of guilt, grief, and coping with loss. James Sunderland receives a letter from his wife, Mary, telling him to meet her in Silent Hill. Sounds sweet, right? Until you find out Mary's been dead for 3 years. Suddenly you realize this isn't about fighting monsters, it's about confronting your past. But this song hits a little different. It's about the future, too. Because this song plays when you meet Angela in the Blue Creek apartments. Angela is sadly a victim of familial abuse, and when you encounter her here, she has a knife. The implications are quickly apparent. And with this beautiful but very haunting song playing behind this, the impact is exponentially greater. This song strips everything down to a simple piano melody, sparse and delicate. No drums, no guitar riffs, just pure piano that resonates warmly, like memories gently resurfacing. It's soft, yet heartbreaking, like someone quietly trying to remember happier times, knowing they're lost forever. The further you get through the game, the more you learn about her trauma, and believe me, it's dark. And I think that's why if I had to describe this song, it would be quietly devastating. This is definitely what I would consider to be Angela's theme, and it fits her more than perfectly. Even when you encounter her near the end of the game, and a familiar but different theme comes back, it shows her standing in a stairway, burning. But burning just as softly as the music. It's haunting, it's disturbing, and it's perfect. Silent Hill 2 isn't just scary, it's emotionally raw, genuine, and incredibly powerful. This song captures all of that so elegantly. It sticks with you long after the fog clears. The music in this game is so much more than notes on a page. This game is so much more because the music gives it life. And this song is the one that sticks out to me the most out of all of them. Silent Hill 2 is definitely a classic for a reason, and it actually got a remake just recently. Ironically, at the time of writing, I haven't played it yet, but I believe by the time this video comes out, I will have. So if you played the remake of Silent Hill 2, let me know what you thought of it, and also how you enjoyed the remake's version of the song, assuming it is indeed in the remake. It better be, how could it not be? Anyway, our next one is going to be a little bit of a tonal shift, so buckle up as we move to number 3, which is... Okay, Pokemon fans, you already knew this was coming. How could I possibly do a list of hauntingly beautiful gaming songs and not talk about Lavender Town? And in case you hadn't noticed yet, I'm specifically choosing the version from Let's Go Eevee. I have a few reasons for this, which I'll get to in a sec, but before that though, here's the deal. Lavender Town has been iconic since the original Pokemon Red and Blue. It was unsettling even on the Game Boy with those crunchy 8-bit chip tunes that managed to creep you out despite their simplicity. But Let's Go Eevee took it to another level. This new arrangement is genuinely beautiful. It's clear, it's gentle, it's melodic. But just like before, something feels wrong. Really though, that's the main reason I picked the remake version over the original. The Game Boy version sounds so harsh. Like, harsh on the ears, I mean. It's hard to appreciate how beautiful the song is when the shrillness of the 8-bit Game Boy sound font is making your ears bleed. Now don't get me wrong though, the song is still incredible even in its original form. It still has that haunting undertone. The real question is, why does this song haunt us so effectively? Well, again, context matters. Lavender Town isn't just another stop on your journey. It's a literal town built around a Pokemon graveyard. This is heavy stuff for a kid's game. It's the first real moment in Pokemon where the fun adventure comes face to face with something genuinely dark. Grief, loss, and even death. As a kid, you're expecting gems and badges and adorable creatures, and then suddenly you're confronted with ghosts and mourning. This music encapsulates all of that. The soft melody feels gentle, even comforting. Yet underneath is a subtle, unsettling feeling. It's beautiful, but it makes you want to look over your shoulder. And that's the genius of Lavender Town's music. It's not just memorable because it's creepy, it's memorable because it gently reminds you of loss. And that everything, no matter how joyful, has another side. Even Pokemon. And climbing the Pokemon Tower is very memorable. It has an otherworldly feel, which makes sense given everything about Lavender Town. And with an impassable ghost of Cubone's mother waiting at the top, barring your progress, honestly, Lavender Town is one of the most memorable parts of Gen 1 Pokemon. I've always liked it, even as a kid. And it's been kind of fun to really think about why I liked it. But what if there was a game that felt that way all the way through, from beginning to end? Not just one small part, but the whole game. Well, good news, there is. And it's... You know how Lavender Town gives you that unsettling yet beautiful vibe for just one small part of the game? Well, imagine that feeling, but stretched across an entire game. Yeah, you already know where I'm going. Let's talk Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask isn't just another Zelda game. Instead of just exploring dungeons and saving princesses, you're trapped in a 3-day time loop, desperately trying to prevent the moon from crashing into the world. Everywhere you go, there's this constant reminder of doom ticking overhead. But here's the thing. Out of all the incredible haunting songs in Majora's Mask, the one that hits hardest is Time's End. This is the song that plays during the final hours, when the moon is almost upon you, and it's finally dawning on everyone in Clocktown. It's over. The song itself is incredible, softly played, gradually building tension. It's beautiful and terrifying all at once. It's peaceful, yet unsettling, and that's why it's so effective. Every note feels like a quiet acceptance, a gentle resignation to fate. There's no panic, no epic battle music, just quiet melancholy as everyone waits for the end. The bells of Clock Tower ringing, the screen shaking from the inevitable impact of the moon, it's also incredibly well made. An interesting juxtaposition is that you can literally rewind time. So what if the moon is crashing into the planet, destroying everything? Just play your little doot and go back 3 days. But really, you're just delaying the inevitable. You can only go back 3 days anyway. If you don't do something, you're going to be stuck in this 3-day loop forever. So there is hope, sure, but it's fickle. You have work to do if you want to save these people, this planet. A lot of work. What makes Majora's Mask, and specifically this song, so emotionally powerful is how personal it all feels. Every character you meet has their own story, their own regrets, their own hopes, their own dreams. And when you hear Time's End, you realize you can't save them all. You have to rewind time and watch them suffer again and again and again. It's genuinely heartbreaking, but that's also why it's brilliant. This song perfectly captures that hauntingly beautiful balance. The sadness of loss and the quiet hope that maybe next time you'll get it right. It's a reminder that even in the face of impending doom, there's still beauty and humanity. And that's such a cool thing about the game itself, too. There's sadness and regret everywhere, but the more you play and the more people you help, the more hopeful it feels. You're really making a difference, and you're getting ever closer to stopping the moon from falling. It's just such a punch in the gut every time you have to reset time and see these people how they were before you got here. The game constantly blends the ideas of success and failure, layered on top of each other. I don't think I've ever seen a game do it like that before. And honestly, that's probably why Majora's Mask is quite possibly my favorite Zelda game. As far as the feeling of being hauntingly beautiful, Majora's Mask nails it like no other. But there is one other song that beats it. A song that feeds off of a feeling built over multiple games. May I present to you my number one pick. So here we are, the end of the list. And honestly, this is probably the hardest choice of them all. But there's one song from one game that just hits different. It doesn't just feel hauntingly beautiful, it feels earned. And that song is Leaving Earth from Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect isn't just a trilogy, it's a journey. Over multiple games, you grow attached to your crew, you build relationships, and you face overwhelming odds. And by the time Mass Effect 3 begins, the stakes couldn't be higher. The Reapers, a race of ancient sentient machines, are here to wipe out all life in the galaxy. And this is where Leaving Earth comes in. Right at the start of Mass Effect 3, Earth is attacked, and there's nothing you can do but watch. All of your adventures, all of your choices have led to this moment. This is what you've been fighting to prevent. And yet, it still happens. You need help. You can't win this fight on your own. You have to leave Earth and make the galaxy understand just how high the stakes are. But it sure does feel like you're running away. And that's the point. You've been playing as Shepard for 3 games now. You know how he feels, how you feel. You want to stay and fight. But you know you have to get help. Leaving Earth, both the song and the action itself, is an emotional impact like no other. I mean, the song itself is a masterclass in simplicity. A few piano notes, gentle, haunting, repeating, slowly joined by subtle orchestration and electronic undertones. And then BAM! You see what you're fighting against. It's not dramatic battle music. It's quiet, mournful resignation. It tells you without a single word that this fight will be costly. People you care about will die. Worlds you've saved will burn. And yet, you have to keep going, even if you do want to stay and fight. That's what makes Leaving Earth so powerful. It perfectly encapsulates everything Mass Effect is about. Sacrifice, determination, loss, and hope. You're fighting for something bigger than yourself, and even when it feels hopeless, you press on because the galaxy is counting on you. And this song, it's that weight, that responsibility, that sadness, all wrapped up into one hauntingly beautiful melody. It sticks with you. So much happens when this song plays. One of your best friends in the whole galaxy, Admiral David Anderson, is about to escape Earth with you to help you on your mission. But he decides to stay, to help lead the resistance on Earth, to buy you the time you need. You tell him you'll be back with help, and maybe you will. But will you be back in time? It hurts to leave him behind after everything you've been through. And watching a child you saved get on a craft to escape, only to be mercilessly killed right in front of your eyes? Holy shit, this game does not hold back. You have to turn away. You have to leave, and you have to leave right now. Leave your home. Leave your best friend. And this song is absolutely perfect at hammering all this in. You feel it as you break away and head out to search for help. And then the title card drops. It's actually perfect. I know the ending of Mass Effect 3 is still one of the biggest disappointments of all time, but the rest of the game is excellent. And, spoiler alert, but you told Anderson you'd bring some help. And by God, you sure fucking do. You take that hope that Anderson placed in you, and you repay it tenfold. And honestly, that's the beauty of video game music. It's not just about the songs themselves, it's about the emotions, the memories, the journeys that they represent. And Leaving Earth is the perfect example of how powerful music can be. I can't stress to you how much I loved working on this one. This has been an incredible journey through some of gaming's most hauntingly beautiful tracks, exploring the emotions that these songs evoked and how they blended with their games and stories. It was incredible. I've shared my choices, but now it's your turn. Which gaming songs haunt you in the best way? Let me know in the comments. And of course, as always, a huge shout out to my Twitch, YouTube, and Patreon supporters. You make these videos possible, and I sure hope this one was worth it. But until next time, keep playing, keep listening, and keep feeling. Oh, and help me figure out a way to end my videos that isn't just an abrupt hard cut.